Hey, this is Chris Spiker.
I'm Aaron Goldstein. We are here with Justin Lane from Monte Vista Building Sites.
Welcome, Justin.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, and thank you for being a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys and
Yeah, and chat a bit because,
Yeah.
you are so busy. You're like fourth generation here in the Antelope Valley.
I am.
And you're so busy, you're running and jumping, and you got a lot of things going on. So thank you for taking the time to sit still for a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
And I would say thanks for being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, but I would imagine the Lane family was there at the very first chamber meeting.
I could imagine that. I know that both my dad and grandfather were involved heavily with the chamber over the course of the years. I haven't been as active as I could have been the last couple of years, but I've been focusing on I have a 3-year-old son now, and with the business, it's a pleasure to kind of get involved with the chamber some more and spend some time with you today.
Appreciate that. So, give me a little history of the Lane family in the Antelope Valley.
So our family originally came to the Antelope Valley in 1908. My great-grandfather came from Morristown, New Jersey, and he started off renting teams of mules to farmers, and he eventually became superintendent of the LA County Road Department. And so a large portion of the roads across the Antelope Valley were made with teams of mules by my
Really?
grandfather, at the turn of the century.
Wow.
And they were a bunch of hardworking men. We have a lot of the old harness and they call them cook cars, and they would actually go out to wherever they were building the road, and they wouldn't come back at night. They would stay out there all week, because it was 10 or 15 miles,
Right.
so it was too far to.
Long commute.
Yeah, on horseback
Yeah.
it is, and so they. My grandfather started with that, and he worked there for large majority of his life, and then they got involved with the commercial development in the 1950s, and that's the same business that our family has continuously been in since then.
That's where the Monte Vista building sites.
Yeah, Monte Vista building sites. They actually, the Monte Vista housing tract there in Lancaster, kind of.
Between the Boulevard and
Yes, that was
10th and 15th.
Yeah, that was my great grandfather subdivided that and built the first subdivision in Lancaster.
Really? The first subdivision?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's when Monte Vista School and.
Did he build the houses too?
I don't.
Had some help, obviously.
I don't think that they actually built the houses. I think that they just subdivided and they had a housing. I don't know if they were custom houses or if there was a developer. It was, believe it or not, that was prior to my time.
But part of the history of the Antelope Valley.
Yes, it was. And then my grandfather, Frank, he had the first ready-mix concrete business in the valley too, and so he did that for a long time until my great grandfather and him started Monte Vista building sites, and then they went into commercial development.
So that's 110 years in the Antelope Valley.
Yes, it's I don't know of too many people who say that we actually have some land that we still have that they actually homesteaded here in the valley. So it's
You guys own a lot of stuff, don't you?
We do own and manage quite a bit of property here across the Antelope Valley. I think last time I did a count, it was about 42 different properties that we.
So you lease, but you also build.
We build, lease, and maintain commercial, mainly commercial and government buildings.
If somebody's looking for a property, usually I just see your sign on things, but do they ever call the office and say, hey, I need an office, I'm looking for a space?
We do. We have we have realtors, brokers that list the properties, but we do get some phone calls, and a lot of the our new building that we built just out there at the ranch.
Right. 60th and L8?
Yeah.
Or Raven's Nest?
Raven's Nest, do jiu-jitsu and farmer's insurance, Big Belly Pizza, and then Sinful Treats.
Gotta
Moved
mention
in
them
there.
all.
Yeah.
The building's full.
It is. It's full.
Wow.
Yeah, we had it. We actually had it leased, and before before we actually got the building finished.
You guys know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, we've had a little bit of experience, and we had a good team working on it.
Speaking of teams, Wells Fargo, I see the stagecoach.
Yes, sir.
How many, and that's the stagecoach that's in the Rose Parade?
Yes.
How
yes.
many years have you been doing that?
I've been doing it my whole life. Or just about. We started in '89,
Wow.
and when I was a kid, my parents packed me along with them on the weekends, and we do about 125, 130 events a year.
I'm on the freeway on a Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, and I look over there, and there's a stagecoach in a truck going
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah, we the main areas that we service is California, Arizona, and Nevada is kind of our area that we stick to now. Before the bank had expanded, as they were expanding across to become a nationwide company, we used to go all across the country. We've been to Boston, New Orleans, the Midwest, and they've gotten more drivers now, so we kind of stick to our area, which is fine with me. I don't necessarily enjoy being on the road for a month or two at a
Don't want to be
time.
away from that baby too long.
Yeah. He's actually we live at the ranch there close to Courtsville High School, and my son is the 5th generation to live in that house.
Wow. How cool is that?
It is.
So let me just put this hat on because...
Other way.
Uh,
Other way.
The other way?
Yes, sir. That's it.
Oh yeah, it fits. So you do some movie work.
I do. I've currently we're supposed to start filming on a new season of Westworld. I've worked on the past 2 seasons.
So you're renting cows and horses?
No. When I'm doing that, I work as a wrangler. So it's there's wagons and horses and cast horses, and it involves sometimes I do background and specialty driving and stunts, but a lot of it's just getting the horses ready and catching them, and then getting them for the background people. They ride them and do whatever they're going to do, and then I just kind of we're part of the crew basically, and just kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't really need any old cowboys standing around.
You would be surprised. There's they have a lot of extras on these big films. There's people who from young to old, and there's every kind of walk of person that they use behind the scenes.
Well, I will keep that on my lifetime list of ththings to do, to hang out with you for a day in Job Shadow.
Well, you're always more than welcome to come by the ranch and get a little taste of experience of an actual working ranch.
I've been in the house delivering flowers, but I've never been out on the grounds.
Yeah, it's we have 79 acres there currently. It used to be a half section, which is 320 acres. So, but it's
You
kind
keep
of
building houses.
yeah. That's kind of what happens. It seems like, but my dad tells a story of that. Where the house is, it's real close to Avenue L, and they used to actually shoot trap in the front yard over Avenue L where those houses are that built there now. So
I've heard some great stories of your dad walking around. He can walk around Lancaster across an alfalfa field, which is now all houses, when he was a kid.
yeah, the stories that he everywhere that when he goes, he can kind of there's some story or hidden history that he can give you about that corner or that road or whatever it may be.
You're on the AVEC Water Board.
I am. I was elected in 2016, and so I feel like I've been a part of it. My dad was a director for 40 years, and so I had a good briefing for the job, and so I really enjoy it, and I like water issues, and I have a good background that kind of complements the stuff that we're doing at AVAC. So it's a real challenge, and I enjoy it.
It is a challenge. Now, people think we've had so much rain, the drought is over.
Actually, it is over. It's the first time since 2000, I think 2008 or 2009, that they said that the drought's officially over in California.
At least for a season.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what do you do on a typical day? Or is there a typical day for you?
They're basically it starts off at the ranch, And you know, I ride horses, or you know, I rope, you know, maybe for an hour or so in the morning, and then I'll go into town and be at the office for, you know, till 3 or 4 o'clock, or you know, maybe later, just depending on the day, and then come home and oversee the guys before they finish at the ranch, and then you know, go have dinner with my parents or with my wife and, you know, my son, and we try and have dinner a couple nights a week with the, you know, with grandma and grandpa, and so it's we try and keep the family as close as we can.
And you enjoy living in the Antelope Valley?
You know, I do like the Antelope Valley. I have the location here is, you know, you can be at the beach in an hour. You know, you can be up in the mountains snowboarding in an hour, or you know, it has just wonderful weather most of the time. So I really enjoy it, and I enjoy the people. So.
And the golf courses?
I do. Yeah, I love hitting a few.
Rodeo?
Yes, sir. I that's one of the things that I was professional rodeoed for a long time, and I don't get a chance to do as much. I kind of had some injuries put me out, but before I broke my leg, I was ranked 14th in the world in the calf roping.
Wow.
So that's kind of my claim to fame for a little bit, the rodeo. Yeah.
An Olympian?
I wouldn't go that far, but
But now you've left the sport to even younger people.
yes, sir. It's kind of like I equivalent it to what we're doing. It's kind of like professional football, the amount of physical toll that it takes on your body. So I'm getting to the age now where I'm getting a little achy, so I don't mind giving it up to the younger guys.
Well, that's 12 minutes. You stay in the saddle. Justin Lane, Monte Vista Building Sites. Thanks for being on.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet.